What is up, guys? Welcome back. I am so excited to be able to talk to you guys today. It's about something that I'm really passionate about, something that I absolutely love, and that is rock climbing. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably somebody who maybe wants to get into the sport, has seen somebody else climbing, and been really interested in what is that person doing? How do I get into that? Well, today I'm going to start by talking about the first thing you need to know in order to be able to get into rock climbing, or to be able to climb at a gym, to be able to climb outside, and that is how to tie a figure 8 knot. So why do we need to tie a figure 8 knot? What's so important about that? Well, a figure 8 is what secures you in your harness to the rope. It's what prevents you from falling. So it's very important that we tie it the correct way. It's very important that we know how to tie in every time, so that when we're in the situation that we're on the wall, or maybe when you start to get into multi-pitches, that you can do it without hesitation, and you can just tie in. So now I'm going to show you how to do it. So what you're going to need in to be able to do this is a rope and preferably a harness. If you don't have a harness to practice with, try to find something with 2 loops that you can use as a substitute in order to practice tying the knot until you can get a hold of a harness, or until you can go with your friends and practice it there. So let's take it. Here we have our harness. On most harnesses, there will be 3 loops we want to pay attention to. One is this belay loop. It is a circular or oval loop that loops through these 2 parts of the harness. These 2 loops are what we really want to pay attention to. This belay loop, as it's called, we're not going to use until later videos. But for right now, we really want to pay attention to these 2 loops because we're going to put the rope through these. So to give you a better view, these are generally at the front of the harness and come below right above the leg straps and opposite from the waist strap. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our rope. So here I have my rope, and we're going to want to take an arm's length. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to pinch it and pull it out to my shoulder. Exactly 1 arm's length. So I'll do that again. Take one end, pinch it to the shoulder, out. There, now that we have our arm's length, we're going to take this rope and we're going to pinch it in a loop. So I'll show you. We're going to pinch it in a loop. Once we have it in a loop, we're going to take the loop and we're going to twist it 180 degrees. We're going to make sure not to do it 360 all the way around, but just 180. So it looks like this. After that, we'll take our end and we'll feed it through to make a figure 8. This is the first part of the figure 8 knot. After we've tied a single figure 8, the key part of what we're going to want to do is we're going to actually loop it through the harness and feed it back through. So let me show you what I mean. We're going to take one end with our figure 8 tied, and we're going to take these 2 loops and we're going to feed the end through the 2 loops. Once it's through the 2 loops, we're going to take the end and we're going to follow it back through, mimicking the exact pattern of what we tied on the first one. So I'll make this a little bit longer so it's easier to see. We're going to take it and we're going to pull it through. So I'm feeding it exactly the way it's coming from, and I'm just going to follow the rope. So I go through 1. And then I'm going to go under. And then I'm going to go around. And I'm going to go up. So when we get to this point, one of 2 things can happen. We need to pay attention to how long our end piece is. In this case, the end piece is relatively short. So we would want to retie and add more length to our knot before we send it through. The reason being is if we don't have sufficient end length, the rope could slip through. Now, it's unlikely that with this length it would slip through, but as a precaution, we're going to want to make it a little bit longer. The opposite is true if we have it extra long. If it's long, we're going to want to tie the end off and maybe undo the knot and restart again. So here I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to adjust it. So start over. Here we've got our 8. Now we're going to lengthen it by adding some extra and pulling it through. And now we should have more to deal with. I'm going to take it through. I'm going to find both ends of my harness. Now that I have both 2 loops, I'm going to feed it through both loops with my figure 8 on one side, and I'm going to follow the figure 8. So I'm going to go in, around, over, and through. And there we have our figure 8 knot. Now, one of the last things that we need to do, and one of the most important, is we need to check to see that we've tied it right. You might be wondering, how do I know if I did it right? Well, a cool trick that we can use is we can count the number of strands. So here we can go, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We can see that there's 10 strands. If we have done it correctly, we'll come out with 10. So in this case, we have, and we know that we're good to climb. Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys are just barely getting into climbing, go do it. It's amazing. The payoffs are spectacular. And no matter what, even if you don't know if you have somebody to go with, just go show up at a gym, show up at a canyon outside, and find somebody to climb with. The climbing community is so friendly, and they love to show people how to rock climb. They love to introduce new people to the sport. I love to introduce new people to the sport, so I know all my other rock climbing friends do as well. You guys got this. Get out there and find some adventure.